Good morning, good morning, good morning. So today, my son has no school, which I didn't know, okay? And we're observing a very important day. And so I'm headed over, I'm going from the Valley to downtown LA. Now, one of my clients just moved, and the problem that we're gonna hopefully not have is that we're gonna get there, we're gonna find parking on the street, and we're gonna be able to wash his Tesla. He already forewarned me that there is no driveway, there's just street parking. And the last words that he gave me was, if you need to move it somewhere, you have the key. So that means that I'm pretty sure it's pretty tight parking, but let's see how it looks. Stay tuned because I have 2 more cars after that, but here's the first one. All right, so I just got here, and of course, East LA is always saturated with a lot of cars. This is a Tesla. I parked on top of the curb. I don't think it should be a problem here. This is a Latino community. For the most part, we are really cool with each other. So if anybody comes out, I'm just gonna let them know I'm gonna be here for a little bit. And then we'll head out. But yeah, that's another thing that we have to deal with as mobile detailers. The space, the time, how loud or quiet is your equipment. So right here you can see the truck is sticking out. Well, the van is sticking out a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and put my heavy duty cones on, and we're gonna take care of this Tesla. Just wanted to show you, my little baby was in here yesterday, forgot his Crocs, but I love seeing this, puts a smile on my face. All right, so never a dull moment in East LA. I already saw 3 unmarked police vehicles. There's an alarm going off. There's alleys around here. Not the best place. There's a helicopter overhead, but I'm just gonna get here, do what I have to do, and get out. All right, so we are done with this beautiful Tesla. This Tesla is ceramic coated, so it really helps. East LA is super dusty because there's a lot of cars coming in. But let me show you a better view of the car. All right, so since this is my boy's car, this car is locked now. I'm fine. I'm gonna head over to Northridge, and man, this one's gonna be fun. Okay, so come with me, stay tuned. 1 minute, I'll see you there. All right, guys, so I made it to Northridge, and this is one of the cars. You guys have seen it on the page before. That's a beautiful M5. And let me just switch cameras. Let me show you what came out. That thing right there, yeah, that is a beast. I'll tell you a funny story. Well, not so funny, but this is what I'm excited for. This is why I love doing this job, because I get to see cars that I want in my garage, and this is just one of them. So my boy is coming, but I'm gonna take the time to do a walk around on this car. Okay, the story with this car is that it went out. Okay, they were gonna change the blower on it, and oh my god. Okay, so they were gonna change the blower on it. Once they did that, they put it on the dyno. For whatever reason, the engine blew. Okay, so that slowed the process down of this build, but now everything has been fixed and this beauty is out. And Jesus Christ, look at that thing. Oh, this is so beautiful. See, this is so cool because I get to make these cars that are like my dream cars. Look at those tires. So yeah, I get to make these dream cars clean. And the saying of sometimes, you know, you have clients that become your friends super quick. That's the truth. Everybody that calls me that I work on their cars are car enthusiasts, because they're the ones that are going to be spending the money on their cars, because they want to take care of their vehicles, because they're spending their money on other things. Although, you know, you do get random people that understand, you know, the difference of having a detailer as opposed to taking it to the wash. And I love them too. There's so many different reasons of why I love this job. Most importantly, I'm outside. Look at this. Today's an amazing day. I love this. I love this. And then this is for my boy Leo. That is gonna get a GT350. Okay, we're gonna manifest it for him. Here's one of your homies for you to roll with, my boy Julio. Super sick. All right, so we're just waiting for them to come. We're gonna set up. I'm set up down the street over there. It's in the shade a little bit. It's away from that tree. The tree doesn't really drop too much stuff. So we're gonna move this one over there, and then the M5 is over here. We're gonna move it over there too. All right, stay tuned. And can we just get a what the frick? Look at this. Oh my god. I can't wait to hear this thing turn on. So here is this beautiful M5. What's peeking in there? Oh yeah. Intakes, dual intakes. This, again, for those of you guys that haven't seen it, this is a matte wrapped car. So the wrap is a little bit old, but it came with the car like that. So we're just gonna go ahead and clean it up. There's a Cars and Coffee happening at the Devonshire location here in Northridge for the Chick-fil-A that I am gonna attend. My friends are gonna be there. That Cobra is gonna be there, Shelby. Okay, so we're gonna do a wash, and because that one's gonna be in the show, we're gonna just do a little bit of extra stuff for my boy. Okay, stay tuned. right, so I have a little bit of a dilemma, okay? I'm trying to figure out what type of camera angle I do, because when I asked my boy about the car, okay, I'm not gonna tell you the horsepower, but what he told me was that it shakes at the beginning, okay? They're breaking in the motor, but the motor has quite a bit of horsepower. So I think the best thing to do is, as much as I would love to take you guys on the interior, I want you guys to hear this from the outside and see what happens, okay? So let's move this BMW and let's see. So given that this car still needs a break-in, okay, it needs about 800 miles or something like that. I don't even want to know what it feels like when you just unleash that thing, okay? This was just simply me moving it across the street. I'm not going to be revving too much. That was me kind of engaging the clutch, seeing where it was, but oh my God. Let me show you around. At this angle, this thing looks like a funny car, right? I'm using the fish eye or the fish lens. Look at this thing. Look how beautiful it is. And I swear these tires, if you guys don't know, see this right here? That's called a bead lock. Okay, why do you need a bead lock? Because when this thing smashes down and starts turning with all the horsepower, you want to make sure that the bead of the tire doesn't pop out. Okay, so these welds are notoriously amazing. But again, if you guys see this, and they're running my favorite Mickey Thompson tires, street tires. How sick is this though? Look at that freaking caliper. Oh my God. Look at that. Let me show you guys the inside. This seat is so, it just hugs you. I'm inside. So it's been in the shop for quite a while. So we're gonna make sure that we take care of this thing, clean it up. And let me tell you guys, okay, backstory. I'm gonna show you how cool these seats are. They fit just perfect. But backstory, so I went to a school, a mechanic school called UTI. Okay, I am, funny thing, okay, I am the only student to have ever gone there for 10 years. You're like, what the hell? Okay, I went there in 2001. I'm sorry, 2003. Okay, and at that time, UTI was still fresh on the West Coast because I think they were like Midwest. So started going there. At that time, I was driving a 1959 Volkswagen, and I had an issue with a job that I was going to take. So there's morning classes, then there's afternoon classes, and there's night classes. So I would go to the morning class, which started at 6 a.m. from 6 a.m. to 12. Super cool. If you guys don't know about UTI, look them up. I don't care what anybody says. I loved it. It was worth it. But this is what happened. When I was in the program, I was probably like 6-7 months in. Actually, I had probably, I guess you could say I had about like 4 classes left. I tried to take on a job at Toyota of North Hollywood. Okay. And the school was in Rancho Cucamonga. So of course, me working at a dealership, that's going to have an 8 to 5. So I figured, okay, I'll work 8 to 5 and I'll go to the night classes. I think the night classes started at 6, 7, something like that. I don't remember. But I figured I could work something out. I told the school, hey, I need a schedule change. They said, sure, not a problem. Then I was waiting for my new class to kind of populate, right? Because you have like a week in between. And then the classes are about like 3 or 4 weeks, depending. So when I noticed that the schedule for the new class wasn't coming in, I was like, hey, what's going on? So I called the school and they're like, oh yeah, unfortunately the system kicked you out by accident. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, yeah, the system kicked you out. So what has to happen is that you have to go ahead and pay the balance. Once the balance is paid, then you could come back. And I was like, but why? I was like, I told you guys what I was doing. You guys told, oh yeah, well, it's out of our hands. The system kicked you out. Once that happens, couldn't do anything. That's the first part that got me mad about UTI. Okay. So I said, okay, what's my balance? And they're like, oh, 10,000 something, something. And I was like, I don't have 10,000. And as displeased, and that's the word I'm going to use, as displeased as I was, I had to stop going to that school. Now, what ended up happening was that years later, probably around 2013, I decided to try and go back and finish. And when I got there and I was doing all my paperwork, the admin looked at my ID and she's like, I've never seen an ID like this. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, yeah, numbers have like zeros on it. She's like, we don't have zeros. She was like, when was the last time you were here? And I was like, it was a while. And she looked and it was like 2003. She's like, you are the only student that I guess has been here for 10 years. And sure enough, oh my God, it was the funniest thing. When I was in class, people would see my badge and they're like, 10 years? Like, what is that? Is that like a master's or something? I was like, I wish. I was like, you know, I had to explain the whole story. But during that time, in between that, I actually got hired at Mercedes. I got hired at Dodge. I got hired at multiple dealerships, restoration shops. So a lot of the people where I worked at, they're like, you know what? Don't worry about the school anymore. You're getting experience, which is what's needed. And sure enough, so lo and behold, it's 2025 here. And it's a funny story that I can tell now. All right. But super cool. This car takes me back. I had a friend that had a Cobra, not a Shelby. Few differences there. But oh man, this thing takes me back to when I was just wrapped up in there. So now as a mobile detailer, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to be going to more car meets, more shows to showcase my stuff. And instead of getting a car, I'll probably go back to using a motorcycle. I gave up a Ducati that I had because I didn't ride it. But right now it'd be most opportunistic because I have the rig for my detailing, have the family car for the family, and then I don't need nothing too extravagant, and I'm not balling out of control. So I'll probably go back to a motorcycle. It's a lot cheaper. It's just for me. It's just to go here and there. So if you guys have a Ducati, I used to have a 1299 Panigale S. I'm okay with going back to that. It was fully electronic, super dope. I know the V4s are amazing, but they are ridiculously expensive. Before that, I had a 1098, which I loved. So it's kind of hard to find those, but I kind of wanted something a little bit newer, but we'll see what happens. Okay. So let me get back to washing this car. We're going to do a little bit more than just wash this car, because this is going to be at the Chick-fil-A on Devonshire in Northridge at the Cows and Coffee. Okay. So I'm going to post this today. So if you guys are seeing this, this is Thursday. The show is Saturday, the 26th. Okay, so if you guys are in their area, go ahead and make it, and I'll put up a flyer at the end of this video. So I'm not sure if you guys understand how excited I am. I get to work on one of my dream cars, and I just got off the phone with Brian. He's the one that handles Jesscar's social media and everything. We've been using, I say my mentor and myself, have been using Jesscar, me, since 2022. Henry from SoCal Auto Detail Center, way more than that. Okay, and we're talking about creating some type of user-generated content, because there is a show that's coming up, the Cali Creaming Show at the Los Angeles Convention Center, where I am wanting to have a booth, not only to showcase my polishing, but showcase Jesscar, which is what I use, as well as using, I guess, this stuff to kind of create a few more things. So I can't really say what it is because it's not done yet. We still have to have a meeting. They have to have a meeting and see if that's something viable for them. But oh my God, just the fact that, you know, being a mobile detail, you got to push for yourself, because nobody is going to do it for you. Okay. I had a pitch. I have a pitch, and that's what I gave to him. But most importantly, I was just very transparent, very straightforward. I explained to him how much I love the product. They know it because I've been tagging them ever since I've been doing it. So Brian, thank you so much for even considering this, for knowing that I'm actually a little blip here in Los Angeles that represents Jesscar. Thank you to my mentor for bringing me on to this. And yeah, let's just hope that everything works out right. But let me show you guys how the car came out. Ah, man, wish it was mine, my dude. Nah. So I had to run and move it because these people right here just turn on their sprinklers, even though if they're automatic. God, that's annoying. They've already told me something for being on their grass, so whatever. But the day is done. very promising day. Thank you so much to my boys. I am gonna be here tomorrow again. Have 3 more cars for that cows and coffee at Chick-fil-A, April 26th, starting at 7:30 a.m. I'm gonna show you the cars again, okay? This beautiful M5 competition series. This gorgeous Cobra. I just wanted to show you why welds are so expensive. This is a billet aluminum. Okay, look, this is a one piece. Look how thick that thing is. That's what she said, huh? See you guys.